In the world of combat sports, where technique reigns supreme, and the mat is a canvas for warriors to showcase their mastery, tonight marks the dawn of another epic chapter in the UFC Fight Pass Invitational saga. In the main event, two FPI Absolute Champions meet. Mason Fowler is looking to continue his win streak with his 5th submission in a row. Will the Black Belt Slayer's relentless pressure be enough to put an end to Fowler's undefeated FPI record? In the co-main event, 10th-ranked UFC lightweight Renato Moicano, armed with 10 submission wins, squares off against Gracie Barra standout Christian Guzman, who'll be making his 3rd FPI appearance. Live from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, prepare to witness the pinnacle of grappling excellence as these warriors showcase their skills in the ultimate test of strength, technique, and heart. This is the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7.
Las Vegas, Nevada, known as the combat sports capital of the world, is a city that has seen its fair share of stacked fight cards. Well, tonight, Vegas will serve as a backdrop for one of the most talent-rich cards in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu history. Returning to the Fight Pass Invitational stage is that man, Nick Rodriguez, an EBI and FPI tournament champion. Rodriguez has shined under these lights, and tonight, he hopes to cement his status as one of the sport's biggest stars. To do that, he'll have to take on that man, Mason Fowler, undefeated on the FPI stage. He looks to hand Nicky Rod a loss under the main event spotlight, cementing himself as the best player in the game today. We will see what happens. It will all unfold, part of an exciting night of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu action. Live from inside the UFC Apex, this is the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7. Alongside B-Mac, Brandon McCatherine, and the King, Gordon Ryan, I'm TJ DeSantis. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7. Gordon, you have been the king of the grappling world now for a few years. You've sparked this revolution. Is it weird for you to see where the sport has gone since you got involved?
It's definitely different. It's definitely an experience. But this is what I wanted for the sport the whole time. You know, when I came into the sport, when I broke out onto the scene in 2016, I wanted athletes to be getting paid like professional athletes, and we're on the way there. We have amazing progress so far, and I'm excited to see what we're going to do in the next 5 to 10 years.
And B-Mac, you're a guy that's used to jiu-jitsu tournaments being in the churches of Alabama.
Yeah, it's crazy how far the sport has come in the last couple of years. Largely due to the efforts of this man right here and all the athletes that he's been competing alongside the last couple of years. But to see what FPI and the UFC has done with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, bringing it in here to the Apex, putting it out here for everybody, it's incredible. I feel so lucky to even be a part of it, honestly.
It is a professional sport with professional stars. We've got some of those stars on this card here tonight. The aforementioned Nick Rodriguez takes on Mason Fowler. The UFC star, Renato "Money" Moicano, looks to make his FPI debut when he takes on Christian Guzman. Kynan Duarte will make his FPI debut. He takes on the former FPI tournament finalist in Luke Griffith. We've got not one but 2 canudos as Renato and Raquel will take the mat. And we will also see Nick Rodriguez's little brother, J-Rod, take on Janatas Gracie. A stacked card, to say the least. Gordon, you are very familiar with Nick Rodriguez, having, fought him on this exact stage. What do you expect tonight when he takes on Mason Fowler?
I mean, Nicky Rod is going to Nicky Rod. He's going to go out, he's going to look to play top position, he's going to look to dominate the wrestling exchanges, and he's going to look to body lock if he gets on top. He's going to look to control Mason the whole way through. And it's going to be very interesting because they have a clash of styles. Both guys are primarily top players, so I'm excited to see how they come out and perform tonight.
Mason Fowler has been flawless on the stage. D-Mac, what does he have to do to remain perfect?
Well, exactly what Gordon said. He's got to make sure that he keeps Nicky Rod from getting on top of him and implementing his body lock passing. Mason is going to have strong wrestling. Nicky Rod probably has at least a small edge in the wrestling, but I think Mason's going to have to get on top and try to dominate with his own passing if he expects to get the win over Nicky.
In our co-main event, we'll see the UFC star Renato "Money" Moicano take on Christian Guzman. Money Moicano is a guy who says he can't afford to lose, and VMAC, people can't afford to watch him not compete. They have to see him compete. This guy is must-see TV.
Yeah, we can't afford to miss Moicano fights. He's got, I believe, 10 submissions, all rear naked chokes in the UFC. I'm very interested to see how his style of grappling as it relates to MMA translates into a pure jiu-jitsu setting. But Guzman, also a veteran of this format, he's a pure jiu-jitsu fighter. He has to believe that Moicano is stepping into his world here. Will Moicano be able to take his style of grappling and translate it over into this FBI style and this FBI rule set?
We will find out in our co-main event. We also will see the FPI debut of Kaynan Duarte. He takes on Luke Griffith. Gordon, you're very familiar with the evolving and ever-growing Luke Griffith.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very familiar with Luke. I'm very familiar with Kaynan. I've trained with Kaynan, competed against Kaynan, and I train every day with Luke. This will be very, very interesting. Luke is a guy who's trying to make his name right now. He's very new in the competition scene, and Kaynan is a well-established champion. So it's going to be a very interesting clash of styles tonight. It's stacked from top to bottom. BMAC, anything else you want people to keep their eye out at home for?
Keep your eye on Jay Rodriguez. This kid is pure action. He has no chill to his game whatsoever. There's no telling what he's going to do, but it's guaranteed to be gas pressed all the way to the floor the entire time.
Pedal to the metal, the FPI 7 set to unfold tonight, live in Las Vegas.
Let's take a look at the rules for the UFC Fight Pass Invitational. Our featured matches, including our main event, will consist of one submission-only regulation round of up to 10 minutes, followed by a 5-minute overtime period if needed. Regular matches are 8 minutes, plus a possible 4-minute OT. A submission at any time wins the match, and if there's no submission in regulation, the match extends into overtime. In overtime, a scoring system is in effect, with points awarded by the referee, and judges can signal scoring and corrections for consideration. Points are awarded for takedowns and securing and maintaining dominant positions and control, and negative points can be given for passive behaviors. If there's no submission at the end of overtime, the most points will determine the winner, and in the rare occurrence that a score is tied, the winner will be determined by the judges. Our referees for the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7 will be the veteran MMA referee Jason Herzog and the former Shooto lightweight world champion Vitor Shaolin. Our judges at the scorers table is Pan American champion and UFC veteran Ricardo Almeida and 4th degree black belt and multiple-time BJJ world champion Leticia Ribeiro.
Ladies will take the match tonight to kick off FPI 7 for a bout scheduled at 145 pounds. We will see Helena Cravar representing New Wave Jiu-Jitsu. She takes on Arielle Laverne. For our introductions of our first match, we go to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7, live from the UFC Apex, Las Vegas, Nevada. Our first match is a women's featherweight no-gi singles match, scheduled for 8 minutes plus overtime. Introducing to you first, in the blue corner, with an official weight of 144 pounds, she is a 2024 IBJJF European champion. Out of Six Blades Jiu-Jitsu, French Guiana, Aurélie Laverne. And in the red corner, with an official weight of 145 pounds, she is the 2024 ADCC East and West Coast champion. Out of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu, Austin, Texas, Helena Cravar. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Jason Herzog.
Jason Herzog getting this assignment, our first match of the UFC Fight Pass Invitational stage. It is Helena Cravar taking on Aurélie Laverne. Cravar in the long black pants, Laverne in the shorts. Scheduled for 8 minutes regulation with a 4-minute overtime if we go that far.
Helena getting into her closed guard game right away. She's so good right here. It's been incredible to watch her progress over the last, I mean, really even just the last year, Gordon. I know somebody you get to train with all the time, so you get to actually watch this progress. She's starting to try to set up an arm lock already.
Oh, yeah. Well, last time I trained with her, after the match, Marigali was like, he's like, who had a harder match between you two? And I was like huffing and puffing, and she was like perfectly fine. And it's like training with her is like training with like a really good guy. It's like incredible how fast she's progressing.
Cravar digging this Kimura on the left side of Laverne.
Yeah, and she's attacked with a couple of different sweeping options already. Tried to go to the ankle, created a good off balance, thought about a hip bump, Kimura combo. Now she'll sit back, and Laverne digging in on those grips.
You know, on paper, it's a blue belt versus a black belt, but Helena Cravar, Gordon, not your typical blue belt by any means.
No, I mean, she's won both the trials. Oh, good attack. Well, Helena comes on top, but gets countered with a normal plata.
Yeah, this is a strong attack. I mean, she's responding pretty well, steps all the way over, and she's going to counter. This is really nice work. We'll probably see her step the rest of the way over, but it looks like Laverne's going to try to turn it into a single. Nice job sprawling her hips out of there for Cravar.
Nice job by Helena getting the top. Now she's going to look to force half guard. She's over that knee already. She's chest to chest. She's got a cross face, and now it's just a matter of working towards.
A lot of time to work here as well as we get reset.
Ready? Fight.
Look for Helena to start to either go in for darks or guillotine or punch that underhook in there. She goes to that underhook now. Now she'll switch back to cross face maybe, if she can. And she's got her knee to the floor. She's 90% of the way into a pass now.
Yeah, it looks like Laverne wants to try to swing into a deep half, but with that underhook in place, it just makes it, I mean, you're just not going to be able to dig in there and get that deep half situation built.
Cravar, early in her jiu-jitsu journey, Gordon, how important is it for a young athlete to get opportunities on a stage like this?
I mean, I tell all the up-and-coming guys, compete as much as you can. I was competing like every weekend, you know, coming up into, you know, even well into black belt. And Helena competes like almost literally every weekend. So just getting the experience of learning how to compete before you have to fight the best guys in the world is super, super important in my opinion.
Laverne's got to be really careful here. She's committed to the deep half, but the arm is trapped. Helena's going to try to slip out and maybe pull into a rear triangle situation.
Yeah, if she loses that ankle, she could be in trouble here because the head and the arm are isolated.
There it goes.
But
switching off to a Kimura. She can break these grips. She's going to flip her with this arm lock attack maybe.
Nice job. It looks like she can't tell if she has both arms. She has both arms in there, it looks like.
Yeah.
So she just has a top lock from guard from here. She's going to transition to the arm bar. But they're getting close to the edge. It'll be interesting to see how the restarts affect everything.
Just right there. Thank you.
Aurelie responds well. That was a good response to that attack.
Stop, don't move.
Nice
So
job.
she ends
Nice
up
escape.
basically using the deep half to get on top.
Yeah, that was good.
Ready?
Did a good job of staying calm under pressure. She was starting to get a little sketchy there when the head and arm started to get isolated, but she stayed calm and managed to use it as a sweep.
Halfway point here of regulation. Go ahead, Vivek.
Helena's so good with attacking with the arm lock attempts from her closed guard. Every time that she gets into that situation, Laverne lets her shoulders get a little bit narrow, and Helena throws up an attack. But Laverne's looking, I mean, she's looking pretty good so far. Really tight matchup, back and forth, trading positions from top to bottom, both athletes. Nice.
Laverne's doing a really good job of recognizing danger before it actually gets to a critical point, and just immediately pulling out of positions that could end up dangerous for her.
I'm going to get a reset here in the center of the mat.
Good. Ready? Fight.
Back underway.
Nice grip behind the elbow. She wants to bring Laverne's elbow across the center line. And she's just trading it back and forth, attacking this guillotine, hip bump, Kimura, trap. And then every time the posture comes back down, she gets behind the elbow and starts looking to lock the shoulders, hunting for arm bars. She's going to try to lock the elbow again here. You'll see that hand go behind the elbow, tries to bring it to the middle, wants to lock the shoulder or maybe even drag the arm all the way across. See if she can cut the angle here.
Laverne's doing a good job keeping posture and standing up, is what she should be doing to look to open the guard. But the second she stands up every time, Helena immediately starts moving into grips in the legs and sitting her down to her butt or entering into the legs. So.
Ooh, got to be careful.
Nice
here.
heist by Helena. That was beautiful.
All the way into the mount. Excellent.
She used that heist from seated guard to come up into a front head and then swept right into mount. And she's got 2.5 minutes to make something happen, so.
Laverne trying to use her feet to uncross the feet of Crevard. She's turning up to her side. Got to be super careful here.
Laverne tried to recover her half guard, but her elbow came across the center line, and she got that arm isolated. And a figure 4 back had an arm, and then subsequently got her back taken from there.
Nice transition here for Helena Crevard on the back. Just under 2 minutes remain here.
Helena trying to save the angle, wants to drag the head back across.
Full body triangle for Helena. This is about the best position she can ask for in these last 2 minutes.
Body triangle's locked on the bottom side. It used to be you would hear people talk about how that was the wrong side, but you see that used a lot now. What do you feel about the advantages to top side versus bottom side with the body triangle?
There are always, I mean, they're both great positions. The problem when you have your legs locked on the bottom side is that it's harder to trap arms because all the weight is on the body triangle, so it's much harder to trap your partner's arms with your legs because all of your body weight and your opponent's body weight is on the body triangle. So you don't really have to worry too much about submissions like those ankle locks that people do. If you just pushing the person's back, it negates that completely, but it is harder to trap your partner's arm effectively to break through to a strangle.
Inside the final minute of regulation.
Nice shot. She's going to take a run at it right there. Laverne created a decent defensive angle for herself. She's blocking across the face, though. She's going to try to grind it out. Nice survival skill.
Yeah, and she's halfway to an escape here.
She needs to pull that left elbow back across.
Helena's got to look to build up to her elbow and build height from here. If she builds up to her left elbow from this position, she can get back behind Laverne, but she didn't do so, and Laverne rotated back on top. Nice escape, nicely done.
Yeah, Laverne, really impressive work so far tonight. I mean, definitely Helena has had her on the back foot and been the more offensive player. She's had more looks for sure, but Laverne's made a good account for herself tonight.
Yeah, very defensively sound for sure.
Final few moments here of regulation. And we are headed to overtime. In overtime, that point system comes into play. What do you expect the strategy and output to look like, Gordon, in this overtime period with points now in play?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Helena she's known as a guard player, but she's been working a lot on her wrestling, so it's going to be interesting to see how she comes out to play.
Let's take a look at some of the action. Gordon, walk us through.
So Helena pulls guard here. She almost actually hits a sumigashi butterfly sweep right to top position, but ends up in closed guard. And when she does actually sweep, Laverne counters beautifully with an omoplata, but Helena countered the counter and stepped over and ended up in a situation where she can almost pass. Then she uses that kimura to try to go in and take Laverne's back, but she built height from there. That made it hard. And Laverne's doing a great job of standing up and trying to open the closed guard, but every time she does so, Helena just has such sticky grips in the leg. She most of the time sits her down to her butt, and then it makes it difficult for Laverne. And then here you have Helena on the back and body triangle locked in. She almost had the angle that she needed, but the angle was a little bit off, and Laverne turned inside and escaped beautifully.
Your overtime, there will be points now awarded, okay? Todd?
All right, time for overtime.
Ready? Fight!
We are underway. 4-minute overtime period for these ladies. And again, points in play.
On the mat.
Yeah, so our regulation period is a submission-only period. The only thing that can happen is you can accrue negative points. Look at this play here by Helena. But in the overtime period, points are in play. And pretty simple scoring system here. Everything's kind of going 2 and 4.
Nice job getting the 2 ankles by Helena. Now she can either use it to sweep or enter into the legs, which she looks like she's going to go into the legs from here. But she needs to get 2 legs inside of Laverne's legs.
She's setting up that Aoki lock over here on this side. Nice. Good choice, using it to go to the top. And again with that omoplata.
Omoplata, she's doing a good job countering with that. Even if she does get swept, she ends up in a situation where she could potentially get a submission.
Just so hard to hang on to an omoplata and no gi.
Yeah. I mean, they're not super sweaty, and
nice
job, but Helena's a little bit high from here. She could fall at the top. If Laverne 4 points, and she's got a little bit too high, fell at the top and ended up back in bottom position.
Yeah, they're going to score the sweep there for Laverne.
For Cravar.
Yeah, I said it wrong. Thanks for the correction. Sorry.
Because she did come on top.
Yeah.
Laverne getting aggressive here, trying to grab a hold of the right arm of Cravar.
She's going to have to get the game moving a little bit. She's behind if she wants to try to.
And you see she's trying to heist up here. Helena did a good job keeping her down. Helena looking to pressure forward, get over that knee, or force her into a position where she can stack her. If Helena pummels that right hand inside, she can force her into half guard because she's over the bottom knee. But she wants to look to start walking around the corner like that. Beautiful. Now Laverne's smart from here. She's looking to wrestle back up to her feet to avoid a pass.
That's right. In this rule set, the scoring, you have to hold the position, basically. You have to have everything in place for 3 seconds before you get the points. So she did pass around the guard, but because Laverne popped up, they didn't give her the points for the pass. And then right back to the feet, and now Helena has to pull.
Nice tactical decision by Laverne to not concede
Judge.
passing points.
2 points back take. 2 points. You're taking away 2 points back. Okay. Adjusting? So are you adjusting the time? Yeah? So 0. 0, 0. You two ready?
Oh, that's interesting.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
So they took the points away from Helena, so now it's 0-0, so now it'll be interesting. But at this point, Helena's bound to be winning a decision.
Yeah, she's been the aggressor throughout the regulation and overtime period.
She's on the bottom of a double unders pass right now. She's weaving over the right arm of Laverne. She'll try to pull that back in or maybe at least use it to stuff the pass. Laverne gets her knee to the inside, and she's trying the same pass that Cravar used on her earlier.
And I believe they took away those points because as she swept, Laverne had a submission. So the count doesn't start until the submissions, until there's no more threat of a submission. And she used the omoplata even though she was swept to give the threat of a submission. So I'm pretty sure that's why they took those points away.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I like that we got so much jiu-jitsu experience. Look at 3 lifetimes of jiu-jitsu experience over there on the sideline making those calls. So they're going to go back and make sure they got it right. And here's a heel hook attempt from Laverne.
Nice attempt, but the knee is free now.
10 seconds remain here in overtime.
She wants to try to sweep with it here at the last second, try to build up base.
Time.
Overtime expires.
Good
no
scrap.
Points on the board, so
Nice
we will
match.
go to a judge's decision. Not something we see very often with this rule set. Usually by this point we have somebody ahead in points, but I don't think this is going to be too suspenseful here as we saw Cravar clearly the aggressor. Take a look at the replay, walk us through.
So you see Helena trying to step into that guard pass. She came in off the double unders pass, and then she turned the corner, but as she turned the corner, Laverne turtles up, slides Helena off to the bottom position. And then here she is. As they come back to the feet, she goes double overs, and she gets she sits in. Well, yeah, this is it. I thought she was going to sit in and try to flip her right there. She did that earlier, or maybe a little after that during the match. It'd be interesting to see how they score it, though. I feel like Laverne, pretty much all of the offense that Helena presented, especially during the points period, Laverne was able to meet her technique for technique, but she got her back taken for quite a good period of the regulation portion. So that's probably going to tilt everything her way.
Yeah, and Helena was the initiator of a lot of the attacks as well. A lot of the attacks that Laverne had were counters to either sweeps or counters to where Helena tried to go for submissions, and then she ended back up on top. So I think Helena, being the initiator, is gonna have a heavy weight here.
The main criteria for our judges to determine a winner, it's effective aggression and progression towards finishing sequences. And credit to Laverne, you know, she definitely showed why she's a black belt out there. But
she had a couple of strong omoplata attacks.
Absolutely. All right. Let's make this one official. We go to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after overtime, we have your winner by judge's decision, Helena Cravar.
Helena Cravar getting the judge's decision tonight to kick off the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7. Another win for the young blue belt. She gets it done here in Las Vegas. Coming up later tonight in our co-main event, we'll see that man, Renato Money Moicano, fresh off his victory at UFC 300 tonight. He makes his UFC Fight Pass Invitational debut as he looks to showcase his submission skills on the mat.
Islam Makhachev, this guy is a killer.
Islam has not lost a fight since 2015.
He's just like Khabib, so dangerous. Guys don't want to face him. But Dustin Poirier is a UFC legend.
He will fight anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Ready to fight, yeah, the world is mine. Poirier has fought for everything he's ever gotten.
He's earned his spot here.
I never quit. I never say die. I believe in myself, and I know I can finish anybody in the world. Islam, see you in the middle.
Islam Makhachev, the best in the world.
His ability is second to none. I am best fighter in the world right now.
Dustin Poirier!
This is who I am. I'm a fighter at heart. I'll never quit in here. Let's go! What a fight.
Fireworks are guaranteed.
Sean Strickland.
He loves to fight. He loves violence.
I ain't slowing down. I ain't stopping. Let's go!
Paulo Costa.
This guy's hell on wheels. So powerful and explosive.
This man is an absolute monster.
Newark, New Jersey.
They will not be able to keep the roof on this place.
UFC International Fight Week returns to Las Vegas. Combat sports fans converge on the fight capital of the world for exclusive access to special events. Honor the new inductees at the 2024 UFC Hall of Fame ceremony. Plus, UFC X is back with athlete autograph sessions, meet and greets, and fan-favorite activities. And cap off the week with UFC 303 live from T-Mobile Arena. Don't miss UFC International Fight Week 2024 in Las Vegas.
Ready for more action here inside the UFC Apex, part of the FBI 7. Oliver Taza set to take the mat. He represents New Wave Jiu-Jitsu. He takes on the 413 Jiu-Jitsu product in Pedro Rocha. We go to Justin Bernard for our official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next match is a no-gi singles match at 195 pounds, scheduled for 8 minutes plus overtime. Introducing to you first, in the blue corner, with an official weight of 192 pounds. He is the 2023 IBJJF Pan Am Open Class Champion out of 413 Jiu-Jitsu, South Lake, Texas, Pedro Rocha. And in the red corner, with an official weight of 185 pounds, he is a 2023 IBJJF Pan Championship No-Gi Champion out of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu, Austin, Texas, Oliver Daza. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Vitor Shaolin.
Here we go, our second match of the FPI 7. Vitor Shaolin getting the assignment. It is Oliver Taza and Pedro Rocha. Taza wearing the long pants. He immediately takes a seat.
I always feel like it's such a privilege to get to call Taza's matches. I really think he has some of the most elegant, beautiful jiu-jitsu in the world. I love his butterfly guard game. His entries into his leg locks from these bottom positions are just some of the most fluid and beautiful movements you'll ever see in grappling.
Yeah, this is going to be a real clash of styles here. You know, Taza's primarily looking to go in and just work constant submission attacks, and Pedro is just the master of control and, you know, playing a strong positional game, not making mistakes, not giving an inch. So it's going to be you know, a question of can Pedro look to start, you know, imposing his positional game, and can Taza enter into submission attacks and chain submissions together?
You know, you got to think that Pedro's best opportunities are going to come off of the attacks of Taza, because Taza's going to be on the hunt with off-balancing, trying to create opportunities for leg entries or some of his sumigaishi type plays from his butterfly guard. And Hosha, I think if he's going to see a guard pass, it's going to come later in the match as he navigates. Oh, look at this. This is nice. But look how good Taza is at just creating a quick off-balance.
Yeah, you know, Pedro's best chance, I think, is an opportunistic pass where Taza gets overextended trying to chase him and then ends up in a situation where he's overextended in bad position and Pedro capitalizes on it. Pedro's doing a really good job of forcing half guard. He's got a near side underhook here. Taza trying to get that underhook back, but he stepped over the knee, he's chest to chest, and he was in good passing position. Taza's a little bit better now. He's got a butterfly hook in, it looks like. Or not a butterfly hook in yet, but he's got half guard. He's not really chest to chest anymore. And I was looking to control that wrist with an inside wrist grip, where he can either go sumigashi, he can enter the legs. But Pedro's so good at recognizing danger and just backing out the second Taza goes to start attacking him.
Such good movement there by Taza to create some space for himself, escape his hip. Hosha doing a really good job with his head positioning during his passing, though. Wrapping the waist on this right side. Taza looking to throw a triangle, ends up in a closed guard instead.
Quick reset here in the center of the mat.
Close guard.
Back to the closed guard position here for Taza. Got a lot of new wave representatives on this card tonight. Obviously, Gordon, you're a part of that gym. How often during camps are you drilling and getting used to some of the rule sets like this one, which is, changing sort of how people approach and look at jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, this is actually, every camp that we have is based around the rule set of the tournament we are preparing for. And this just happened to be right before ADCC. So the entire focus of this camp has just been on FPI rule set, which is closely related to ADCC. And then after this, we'll jump right into a full-on ADCC camp.
Hosha has Taza flat on his back again, working the half guard. Taza creating frames, wants to dig this underhook back into the right side. Nice work.
Taza almost entered into his leg, but he missed the Achilles grip, and Hosha did a great job of recognizing it and just pulling out and getting away.
Yeah, Hosha got to be really careful, and those exact moments right there is where Taza's going to see some of his best opportunities. A little false reap attempt here.
It's interesting to see, too, one of Taza's strategies, if he can't get a hold of Hosha, may be to let him enter into those chest-to-chest half-guard positions so he can give a little bit to get a little bit, because it's so hard to control Hosha from an open guard type scenario. But when Hosha is engaged and he's coming forward into passing positions, that may be the time for Taza to go and capitalize on that connection that's already been made.
That forward movement,
exactly,
catching it in off balance there.
To create some kind of opportunity to go into attacks.
Just past the halfway point of regulation, 4 down, 4 to go. TJ DeSantis along with BMAC, Brandon McCatherine, the King, Gordon Ryan, live tonight in Las Vegas, the site of the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7.
Taza inverts to relieve the pressure. Hosha retreats, and they reset in the middle. Hosha really forcing Taza to play a lot more of his half guard, what you alluded to a little earlier. Taza, normally what we see is his butterfly guard leading the way for his offense, but it's been Hosha, good head position, good strong low passing attempts, forcing him to play half guard and close guard. So it's been a really kind of a throwback old school match here.
Yeah. One of the things I've been working on with Taza, because he's always had such a hard time of getting guys to engage. It's like kind of the issue with our team is we're so dangerous that people won't engage. And I was like, if you let guys flatten you out in half guard, if you let guys start their passing game and let them create that connection, it could be easier to attack. And you see Gary Tonin is the master of this, where Gary kind of goes a little bit overboard, where he's just like in these terrible positions sometimes, and I'm looking at it like biting my nails. But there is something to be said for giving a little to get a little with guys who are just inherently hard to control from an open guard scenario.
2.5 minutes remain here in regulation.
Oh, look at that sneaky little.
Hosha's so aware. The second he postured out and pulled the upper body out, Taza tried to enter into the legs, and the legs went back. His timing is beautiful here at recognizing danger.
Taza doing a nice job controlling the left hand, left arm of Hosha. Hosha wants to create that cross face, but now the double underhooks. Nice, looking to build an electric chair here, maybe.
He's got a good connection now. And he can look to either come up and sweep, or he can look to go into his back, but he chooses to go into the legs.
Those are dangerous moments right there for Hosha, just trying to run away while Taza's hunting for a leg.
First warning, blue.
Okay. They don't like that Hosha's disengaging there.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fine call. If you're
I
gonna,
would agree with that.
Yeah, if you're going to call a lack of action on one, I mean, Hosha's the one who's moving away from the action periodically.
Yeah. The issue with Hosha is he goes forward, forward, forward until there's an actual exchange, and then he's backing away. Whereas Taza just wants to stay in the pocket the whole time. So Hosha's doing a really good job defensively and a good job of getting chest to chest and half guard. But he's not really staying in the pocket when the meaningful exchanges start to happen.
Yeah, you can see that's the second time we've seen Taza just kind of throw his hands back, open his guard, and invite some offense. Maybe what you were alluding to earlier.
1 point deduction, blue.
Oh, my.
Okay, so that's a big call here, which I would agree with.
Well, I like the aggression of the penalty. You know, the rule set here, they're trying to push action. They're trying to push a style of jiu-jitsu that's fun to watch, that engages the audience. And so I have no problem with getting aggressive with the stalling calls. And here's a triangle attempt from Taza. Hosha has a hand on the inside. He's going to probably slip out of this.
Nice shot by Taza. And now you can
Trade
look
to
to
the leg.
legs, but Hosha does a good job of moving out and away.
Coming up on the final 10 seconds of regulation.
Hosha will carry that penalty over into the overtime period. So he's going to have his work cut out for him.
Time, guys, break.
Hasn't been able to create a really close guard pass yet, even though it's, you know, been a lot of good effort from him.
BMAC, walk us through some of the action.
Well, right here we see Taza getting down into his knee shield, and this is maybe one of the first opportunities where we saw Hosha create that chest-to-chest pressure and get Taza onto his flat back. Taza did a good job of always finding his way back into his closed guard or forcing Hosha to the reset. Here's Taza creating the inversion, getting some space, and then resetting back to the middle. And this is where I felt like Hosha was going to make a mistake as he disengages and Taza's holding on to the ankle. We saw that a couple of times. And Taza's going to continue to push the pace like that as it slides into this overtime. Hosha, he's going to have to really, really push right here.
Now we are headed to overtime where points come into play. 4 points can be earned for a mounted position or back mount with both hooks or body triangle. 2 points for passing the guard, sweeps and reversals, knee on belly, and a takedown. So we'll see what can be done here as Hosha will start this overtime down -1. We are back underway again this overtime, 4 minutes.
Let's see how Taza chooses to approach this. I know just the last couple of years, he's been working really hard on his wrestling, shown a lot of improvement in his stand-up game.
And Hosha's a smart tactician. He knows that it's go time now. He's only got 4 minutes to work, so you're gonna see Hosha definitely change the pace from here.
Here he goes, shooting a single leg. See if Taza can counter.
Working hard for this takedown here is Hosha.
Oh, exposes the back. Nice job. Taza did not accept. Did not accept the takedown. That was a really good job by Taza.
Nice job by both guys. Nice job putting him down by Hosha.
Have to engage. Have to engage.
And you can see how that point deduction has really forced Hosha's hand to get aggressive in this overtime, and that's what you were getting to, B-Mac. This is a rule set that is designed to create, you know, entertaining jiu-jitsu for the people watching at home.
Definitely, and it's something that I really feel like has been a long time coming for jiu-jitsu. Like, we've needed a rule set, we've needed a promotion to really get behind aggressive stalling calls and not be afraid to make the calls. And I feel like, especially the last couple of shows, that the Fight Pass Invitational crew they're committed to dialing these rules in and trying to make this something that everybody can enjoy. And Taza building up a really nice half guard play. Oh my God, that was
beautiful.
gorgeous.
That was beautiful by Taza, but nice job by Rocha. And Rocha just so difficult to control.
That was a pretty tense moment there.
Beautiful change of direction by Taza.
Coming up on the halfway point of overtime.
Taza employing the knee shield. Now, Rocha brings the hips high, putting pressure down, but that knee shield stopping any of the progress. Taza digging the underhook. Rocha frames away. Looks for a back step. I like how Taza just a couple of times just opened up and been like, look, man, however you want to play this, just get offensive. He's just baiting him in, trying to get him to come forward.
You're going to see this is going to be an intense last minute for sure. Because Rocha knows he's down. He's got to really pick the pace up here now.
And they're not going to allow Taza to just sit back and ride it out for the last minute either.
No, he's got to stay offensive for sure.
Inside the final minute.
Locks around the, well, I thought he had the body lock.
He almost had the hands locked. It wasn't quite around his waist. Come down the last 30-second stretch here almost. And Rocha's been playing this game for the whole match now. If I was him, I would try to stand up, change it up, go for knee slides, do something different because he hasn't had any success with this linear half guard passing he's been trying this entire match.
And Taza had probably his best moment of the match from a half guard. But look at this. He's now developed a pretty strong underhook and a flat back on this side, but Taza holding on to the half.
Yeah, but now Taza has the underhook back. He's back inside now.
Yeah.
He is chest to chest. He has him
playing that lockdown. Wants to dig the underhook. There it is.
That's the match there.
Break.
Time expires. Competitive match here between Oliver Taza and Pedro Rocha. Take a look at some of that action. To walk us through, we go to the King, Gordon Ryan.
So here you see Pedro tries to go up and snap for guillotine. Taza recognizes it. Beautiful exchange here where Pedro actually manages to put his butt down to the ground right there. And Taza just doesn't accept the takedown, tries to go into a forward roll, and then ends up back in neutral. And then here, Taza hits a beautiful sweep where he tries to come up, and then as Pedro goes to hit the whizzer, he rolls back underneath and takes him over, but Pedro, again, just scrambling back up to his feet, making it impossible to score. There's John in the corner telling Taza what he could have done better.
Yes. I'll grab the noise. Thank you.
Judges conferring here, Matt's side. Make sure that that point deduction stands. And all right, it appears we have our decision. Let's go to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after overtime, we have your winner by points, Oliver Taza.
Oliver Taza getting it done. He wins by points here tonight in Las Vegas. Road to the UFC. The UFC's groundbreaking tournament showcasing Asia's top MMA talent is set to return for Season 3 from the Shanghai PI. Opening rounds come your way May 18th and 19th. Available on UFC Fight Pass.
This is as real as it gets, and it's mind-blowing.
I loved everything about that fight.
These are the moments that the fighters live for.
I can't wait. Oh! Kicked him in the face.
Dog Rose.
We will all witness a piece of UFC history.
Unbelievable. sitting at home watching this, and you just go, holy shit.
The double tap does what he wants.
Master, teach me Kung Fu.
One of the most epic fights.
There's nothing I do better in this life than fighting.
Unbroken, baby. This team is unbroken.
We have a sport with some of the best athletes in the world.
Boom!
One of the greatest knockouts you'll ever see! Oh! The UFC has never been stronger.
It does not get any better. Oh, that looks good. This is a crazy sport, ladies and gentlemen.
It's time! Sunday, June 2nd, the Eddie Bravo Invitational returns to Austin, Texas. For EBI 21, the absolutes. No points.
It's done.
No advantages. No judges.
Done in regulation.
10 years ago, the EBI rule set changed the future of submission grappling. Becoming an EBI champion proves you are among the best sub-only grapplers in the world.
For a long time. Oh, turn your taps. Wow!
Who will be the next EBI grappling superstar?
It's Nick Rodriguez.
Don't miss EBI 21, The Absolutes, featuring Austin Baker, Giancarlo Bodoni, Dan Manasu, and Combat Jiu-Jitsu World's Champion Ryan Aiken, and many more. Sunday, June 2nd, live and exclusive on UFC Fight Pass.